making your sound better.
Alright, so in this part we're going to work on some drums. Let's just go over what we have so far. I'm going to play our chords and then also our bass line. Definitely a solid start. I'm really liking where it's going already. So now what we're going to do here, like I said, we're going to work on some drums. I have some drums picked out here. For this deep house, kind of pop deep house, you obviously want the floor kick, you want that offbeat hi-hat. And yeah, really, I'd say don't overdo it and kind of keep it simple, mostly. And that's what we're going to try and abide by here. I'm going to try and keep that in mind as we're building our drum loop here. So first things first, go open a new pattern here, which we're already in. I'm going to play some kick drums here. Again, very basic, just 4 on the floor. Nothing too crazy. We're going to throw this on a mixer track again by clicking on the sound, then clicking track. I'm going to put a compressor on this with the drums preset, fruity compressor. I think I'm going to shorten the sound a little bit. Boost the EQ up real quick. Take out some of these highs. Cool. As we put more sounds in, obviously we'll play with the volumes more. It's kind of hard to compare when you just have the one kick drum in. So I got these 2 snares up here. I'm gonna try and make some sort of clap thing out of them. That's one. There's the other. So I'm going to put these both on mixer tracks again, highlighting these 2 right here, and then I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna right click it, the first blank insert. I'm going to go to channel routing, and I'm going to go route select the channel starting from this track, so it routes both of them to separate channels. And then since they're ultimately going to be part of the same sound, I'm going to route them to their own channel, just like we did with the bass. Alright. Alright, I don't hate it. Definitely something we could work with. So this one I feel like is more of our transient, and this one is going to be more of kind of the tail of it. So knowing that, we're going to throw a fruity transient processor on this, which is a super cool plugin. And I just like to use the max attack preset, and I like to play with it. Pretty cool. This attack obviously controls the attack, the release controls the release of the transient. Super cool plugin from ImageLine that's I think they introduced in not FL20, but I guess the previous version, which I believe was FL12. And then for this one, and we're gonna EQ this too actually while I'm at it. Take out some of this low end. Focus around this 400 hertz area. And then for this, again, take out the lows. We want the sizzle of the highs right here. So we're gonna make sure we got that. Gonna put a vintage verb on it, Valhalla vintage verb, great plugin. We're gonna put the decay on like 1.2 and then mix it like 6. And we're gonna put the low cut up so it's only reverbing the really high frequencies. And overall, that sounded pretty cool to me. And then on the snare clap channel, I'm gonna throw a fruity compressor with the drums preset. Cool, good start. Up next, I'm gonna use this clap I have here. We're gonna put that also on the on top of the snares. And that's really just gonna tie everything together, put a nice sound. Put this on mixer track. Put some reverb on this too. A lot less though. EQ it just to be safe. Now we have a solid sounding clap sound. Alright, up next we're gonna go to our playlist here. Now that we have this basic loop, I'm gonna drag in a hat loop here, which is 123 BPM. I'm gonna make that 126 obviously by clicking on this button right here. Then fit to tempo, and then we're gonna click type in BPM. I'm gonna type in 123 because that's the source BPM. And now we're all good. Now I'm not gonna use this full loop right now, I just kinda want this hat. So I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna click make unique, just so I have this hat one shot right now. I'm also gonna make one of these unique again. I'm gonna make this unique as sample. I'm gonna click make unique as sample, and what this is gonna do is rather than just make the whole loop unique, it's just gonna cut out that one sound. I'm gonna make this a little shorter than the next one, just to give it some groove. I'm gonna do the same thing here, except I'm gonna make it slightly less short, but still shorter. You see how that groove sounds versus, let's compare, just this is the normal hats versus this loop right here. You can kind of tell the difference here. Pretty cool little trick in my mind. Now no one's gonna be listening for that, but it does make it sound a little more natural, which I think sounds really cool in this type of music. Now we're gonna put all of them on the same mixer channel because they are the same sounds, which is 13. And lower a little bit. Take out some of these low frequencies here. Put some reverb on this. Put like 5. I'm also gonna drag in this cool little loop I have here, another 123 BPM loop. I'm gonna try and find a sound from here that I could use in this little loop that we're kind of making here. Alright, kind of like this sound. Kind of like that sound right there. So I'm gonna take this, do the same thing we did with our hat. I'm gonna click make unique as sample. And now I have to play around with this. Put this on some mixer track, kind of mix in a little bit. Since I have this kind of pan kind of left, I'm gonna put this one a little bit to the right. So let's listen with our kick drum and our clap. That's pretty cool. I also have the shaker loop here that I'm gonna put in, just to add a little more texture. And this is at 125, so I'm gonna fix that real quick. Yeah, it's really adding a lot. Go lower a little bit. I'm gonna put dimension expander on it to kind of widen the sound a little bit. That sounds really cool. Up next, we need a crash. I think this one will do. So we're gonna put that on mixer track 2. I'm just trying to build the drums here before I even bring in the bass line. That's really cool. I like to hear how the drums sound on their own sometimes because I almost like to feel like I'm listening to the beginning of like an extended mix, just so I know how the drums would sound like on their own. Because to me, in kind of the best extended mixes, even just hearing the first 30 seconds to a minute of the song where it's just the drums is so hype. And like in the best songs, you know the drum loop just off the first 8 or 16 bars. You could already tell the song is even just from the kick and the snare or the kick and the clap, and that's really cool to me. So I try and make sure my drums could stand alone, my drum loops can stand alone. For the second half here, I'm going to make this crash unique, and then I'm going to reverse it to kind of get a nice little sweep going. So to go along with our hat, I also have another open hat here that I think I'm going to drag in to kind of layer it with, because I think it needs a little more something to it. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to put this in, I'm going to lower it. I'm going to do the same exact thing as I did with this one, where I'm going to shorten every other one. I'm going to try and match the lengths to the other open hat as best as I can, just so it sounds kind of as one. And we're going to see what we could come up with here. We're going to see if we can do something cool here. I think we can. Take that a little bit, and then this one in. I think we're good. Yeah, it's really close. That sounds good to me. Gonna EQ this a little bit. Make sure there's a little bit of reverb on here as well. Sounds good to me. And I think it's just about time to bring our bass and our sub bass in, and we could start moving on with the rest of the drop here with our synths in it. So let's listen to what everything sounds like right now. So it's a good start, no doubt about it. But there's a lot I want to add to it. And the first thing I'm going to add is this little brass shot right here. So this is in D. So first things first, I'm going to go to the wrench here. And I'm going to right click D on to make the root note D. And I'm going to make this brass note kind of follow the bass line in a way. So it kind of just adds some depth in the background. So let's check this out. See what we come up with here. I'm going to put this on mixer track. This is going to be in the background again, so. Put some OTT on it. I'm going to put a stereo shaper with a stereo as 3 preset on it. I'm going to put some reverb. I'm also going to put a little bit of distortion on it. I actually think I'm going to use our decapitator plugin again. Put that above the reverb and the stereo shaper. That sounded a lot better to me. I'm gonna put this on the side chain. Make sure it's lowered a lot. I'm gonna EQ again after everything. So we're gonna see what that sounds like with our bass line. But adding some notes here. Bring our scale again. Yeah, it sounds really cool to me. I'm also gonna add in a cool little trick here. Crowd noise. Sounds just like that. Adds so much to a drop as far as filling out the frequency spectrum, and this is why. Because we're not just gonna play it like this. We don't want it to sound like a live recording. So we're gonna use this like a white noise filter. So I put on a mixer track as you saw. And now I'm gonna EQ everything below like 2000 hertz. Maybe even more. Like right there is like perfect. I'm going to put a stereo shaper on it. Again, stereo has 3. I'm gonna put a lot of reverb on it. And I'm gonna cut it so it loops obviously. And I'm gonna put it on the side chain. And then I'm gonna lower the volume way, 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 way down. We want it to be extremely quiet. You can notice that a little bit in the background really helps a lot. But I'm also gonna add in a little normal white noise sweep down here. Just so we get that sweeping effect still. And you can see now the drop is really starting to fill out. So in the second half of our drop here, I'm going to double this first of all. And then I'm going to take out this hat because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the original loop it was in and put it in there. And then I'm going to mix it a little bit. The last thing I'm going to do here, as far as the drop goes, is I'm going to add in this little ambient sound. Now this is in C and we are in E flat. So this needs to go up 3. And what I'm going to do here is I'm also going to put the stretch mode on stretch, and then I'm going to put this up to 12. I'm going to pitch up all the way. So that sounds a little hard to listen to right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to use that as another ambient effect. So you can also do this with a violin. A lot of producers like to do, but just a sample like this just happens to work really well. So you can EQ this quite a bit. A lot of frequencies we don't want. We even don't want that super high frequency. So that right there is what we want. We're just gonna chop up this little part. Maybe even smaller than that. We're gonna make sure it's looping perfectly, and then we're gonna highlight it and click Control B to copy it a bunch of times. Make sure it's just making sure it's just looping all right. So then we're gonna put a lot of reverb on it. We're gonna lower that a lot, just like we did the crowd noise. We're gonna put that on the sidechain as well. And we're gonna put stereo shaper on that, just to widen that. You can really hear that's adding a lot to the mix. Alright, so our drops sound pretty good right now. Up next, we're gonna make our intro and arrange the song.